So Jason Bateman and Rachel McAdams get into all sorts of trouble. So then they try to escape, but hold on, I'm getting out of sequence. So is game night numero uno? Three, two, one. What's up, guys? Jared here with another winner of a movie review. So 2018 really hasn't had too many comedies released. I mean, there was 50 Shades Freed, but finally we got our first comedy movie, Game Night, which could be classified as a comedy thriller film. So does Game Night roll a Yahtzee? Let's find out. So Game Night follows our two main characters, Annie and Max, played by guess who? Rachel McAdams and Jason Bateman. They met in college during a trivia night, they fell in love, and they've been playing games ever since. Them and their friends have weekly game nights playing anything from charades to Jenga. However, Max's brother Brooks, played by Kyle Chandler, comes into town one night and says that game night is gonna get kicked up a notch. A group of kidnappers are gonna come and take someone away, and everyone else is gonna have to follow this series of clues to find the ultimate prize. But as the night continues, things don't really appear as they seem, and there's a thin line between make-believe and real life. So going into game night, you pretty much know what you're expecting. A bunch of friends think that real life is actually a game and they do all these wild, crazy shenanigans because they think it's a game, but it's actually real life. Which is a fun concept because it somehow takes this comedy genre and mixes it with this thriller vibe. This is sort of like David Fincher's The Game, except we're not really comparing apples to apples because, you know, the whole comedic tone. The movie has you asking questions and then there's this twist, but is the twist actually a twist or what exactly is going on? You really don't have a clue. Now, Game Night is fairly funny with all of the humor packed in, along with all of these ridiculous scenarios that the characters get in. Whether it be a rich person fight club, it's quite the operation. A couple bickering whether or not they were on a break during their relationship, or a really dumb character matched up with a really smart one. There were quite a few laughs, however, there were some jokes that were kind of dragged out longer than you would anticipate. Most of them land perfectly, and they get funnier each time, but a couple of them just felt forced. Much of the humor in this movie is pulled from the performances. Everyone does a fairly good job in this, but the real standout was Jesse Plemons' character of Gary. He is the weird, creepy neighbor, and he used to be invited to game night with his wife, but then they got a divorce, so that was the end of that Monopoly. Okay, that was a bad one, so I'm sorry. Everything about his performance is hysterical because he's this Buffalo Bill, Hannibal Lecter type character, but in a comedy film. Every time he's on the screen, he takes the spotlight and really adds that weird factor to Game Night. Now, the one thing that really didn't work too much in Game Night was this serious, somewhat plotline throughout the whole movie. Essentially, Max and Annie are trying to have a baby, but they can't because Max's sperm count is really low, and it's low because he's stressed, and he's stressed because of his brother is the better looking of the two, and he's the more successful one, so therefore he never wins at anything, so he needs to win this game in order to get his sperm count back up. So yeah, that's the game of life. But this obviously takes a backseat to the whole movie, the game, and much of the humor. I don't know, it's kind of odd in this movie. It doesn't really affect anything, really. Just ignore that, enjoy the humor, and you'll have a good time. Overall, Game Night is a ridiculous, humorous ride between real life and make-believe. With a fun comedy/thriller vibe, some hilarious scenarios, and some laugh-out-loud humor. But with some plot points and stuff just really not adding up to anything. I'd recommend checking out Game Night if you have the chance. It's not the funniest movie out there, but if you have a group of friends and maybe 1, 2, or 8 drinks, you'll have a great time with Game Night. What did you think of Game Night? Was it the fun comedy thriller shenanigans you were hoping for? Or did the directors take too much of a risk? I want to hear about it in the comments below. As always, you can find me on the social medias at Jared Buckendahl on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Until next time, I'll see you later.